All right, heroes and heathens, ADOS Baron back with another video, which I wasn't sure if I was going to get done today. Long day, very tired, but you know what, for you people, and for me, because of this, I'm gonna get it done. But a little housekeeping first. I'm sure some of you have seen that my friends and I will be returning to Anime NJ next week, or I'm sorry, next month. That is 2.5 weeks and counting. I got a lot of work ahead of me, but I think we'll get it done. Now, where might that be? That would be... Ah! Okay, that was big. I need to figure out where to put that in the corner. But yes, Anime NJ, we are presenting on November 15th of this year. I believe we are going on at 1:30 p.m. in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. So that's northern New Jersey, close to New York City. I have a couple of prizes and surprises. I have it planned. I did start making some buttons. This is a work in progress. Obviously, I will not have just my own logo. I will have other things that are related to our subject material at hand. I mean, should I just tell you what it is? Because I haven't really told anyone publicly what it is. But we're doing Metal Heroes. We are covering the Metal Hero franchise because of all of the Tokusatsu franchises. I feel it's one of the most unsung, certainly in America. I honestly prefer it over Kamen Rider. So that would be that. So I've got something very, very special today. And what might we have in line for you but... That's right, we're doing another live unboxing video. So, first of all, this box is much bigger than I was expecting. Like, I won't get this out of the shot because I don't want you to see what's on the box right away. But it is so much bigger than I was expecting. I got this yesterday. I've been anxiously awaiting to open this. I was almost not going to do it tonight and do it later, but I really want to open this. The anticipation is killing me. So this is something I have been waiting, I want to say like all of my life, literally almost all of my life for. Let's see, 86. This is well over 36, 37 years in waiting. And what we are opening today is Mondo's Real Ghostbusters figures. More specifically, can you read what we got in here? I've got Egon, and more importantly, the Boogeyman. A character who scared the living crap out of me as a child. Even as I got a little older, I remember going to a friend's house who lived maybe 3 or 4 houses down from me. Very, very close. And we were watching it one time, and I was like 7 or 8 at this point. Keep in mind, I was terrified of everything as a child. And I remember watching this episode again, having not seen it for a while, and walking home, watching my back because I was still kind of scared. Yeah, I'm a wuss. But this, let's just, you know what? Let's just cut to the chase and open this bad boy. I mean, this is a shipper, and it's got everything printed on it, so I feel like I'm probably going to keep this shipper box. I did with the HasLab figures, the Galactus and the Sentinel. So if I want to protect the very special packaging in here, I'm going to have to do that. One thing of note, obviously I've been a Ghostbusters fan for pretty much almost my entire life. More specifically, the Real Ghostbusters, the cartoon, which I forget if I was introduced to Ghostbusters via the cartoon first or the movie. Regardless, I've always preferred the cartoon. Specifically, the first season and the syndicated episodes. After that, when you get to the second season, they start retooling everything and the quality goes down a little bit. But can you tell who I am here? Yeah, I think the t-shirt gives it away. Right in the center there. This is preschool. I was probably 5 at the most. So we get the flap open. Oh, this This may be charged with a lot of emotions, so we'll see what happens. I may or may not cry during this. Ooh. Okay, we've got a bag in the box. Okay, this is gonna be. Well, there are many plastic corners in here, so the box, which is good, the internal presentation box is not damaged. And more corners are falling out as we speak. What do we got? Ah! Yeah, they're not even cardboard, they're just like clear plastic ones. I mean, some people may know that these Mondo figures, while so far they look really nice, they're very expensive. And some people will rationalize the price, some won't. One of my friends will not. You know who you are, Joe. And I'm sure, you know, you're hating me for spending this much on this. But for a Boogeyman figure, for real Ghostbuster figures who have almost never been made, or they have been made, but not very good, but the Boogeyman in particular has never been in action figure form, other than, I think, of Mini-Mates. And one thing I realized, I did not grab scissors in case there are ties that need to be cut, which can be the bane of any collector's existence. And I wasn't expecting the box here, the presentation box, to resemble the front of a firehouse. So I'll go on a little story. Let's see, what is it, 2025? 3 years ago, I went to New York City. Been there plenty of times. But one thing I've never been to is the actual Ghostbusters firehouse. And I went there for the first time. It's around a corner, so it's not as in your face as you would expect. But I was just gleaming with joy that entire time. That was a moment in my life which I finally accomplished. And so it's got the Mondo exclusive foil on here. Ooh, okay, we've got magnetic pieces here to keep the flaps shut. And okay, so I know with the Peter and Samhain, however you want to call it, I think they were shipped in boxes that kind of looked like the Ghostbuster trap or the Ghost trap, and the windows would open. Here, it's a little different. If you can see all this, this is so cumbersome. This might be a little difficult, but I think the reflections are here. But it opens up with a giant big window. Egon is in the center. I can barely see the Boogeyman. He is so pushed back there at the moment. I didn't even look at the back here. That's cool. We got some notes here from the concept, sculpt, paint. I kind of like how with the collector stuff they're acknowledging who's made these figures and who made this possible. So yeah. The good thing is that there is not tape on some of these flaps, which is one less thing I have to cut. It looks a little less mint. Okay, so the top is coming off without. That was easy. Sometimes this is a thicker cardboard. I know with some even like some of the Japanese ones, the boxes are getting flimsier. And as a result, when you open the top, there's usually like a crease that happens in the center here. No such story this time. What do we got at the top? Okay, now we've got tape. And okay, so it's like a thin cardboard insert. I don't want to ruin any of this. It's just loud. Okay. All right. We're doing it. Okay, did I pull everything out of the box? Let me double check. Okay. So it's actually this little flimsy cardboard on the, I almost want to say paper stock. Okay, good. I didn't rip that, thank God. But it is the interior of the firehouse. Very iconic for the cartoon and the movies. Okay, you know what? I will worry about this later. Let me put this to the side. All right, this is a lot of plastic, and I mean these are roughly 6-inch scale action figures. So the Boogeyman usually towers over the Ghostbusters in the show. All right, there are multiple trays in here, of which there is tape which I need to cut, and one side. Of course, one on the other side. One on the bottom. And, oop, don't want to knock things over. We have one. Is that? Yeah. It's hidden underneath something else on the top here, which I will show off in just a moment. Of course, I had to cut through. What did this come with? It is a very thick cardboard stock of some ghosts, which you can put on stands here and just have them in the background. I believe this was in the opening credits. I don't know if this is an original or if this was actually featured in the opening as well. But this is like very thick. I don't think I'll punch this out. I will keep this for later. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the back tray. Whoa! You didn't see that at all. Now, the back tray was the support tray, which was keeping all of this from falling over. So we've got some stands and some heads and some ghosts. Okay, did I cut through everything? Let's see, let's feel. Yes. Yes. Let's move the top one off. Huh. There's so much more to this than I was expecting. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so let's take some accessories out first. We have a ghost trap here with a wired cord and the foot pedal and the ghost trap, which also comes with a cartridge which you can slide in and out. There's a reason for this, which I will probably demonstrate later. It looks like from these pieces, these are glove cuffs, because yes, Egon has gloved hands as well, which we can swap out. I will save the best for last, or at least in my eyes, the best for last. We've got a pack-in ghost. This is nice. Okay, go. Whew. I always get worried sometimes that, okay, he'll pose around there. Arms go up. I'm pretty sure he was from the first Boogeyman episode. Boogeyman only showed up in 2 episodes of the entire series, season 1 and season 2, but he made such an impact that he was the main standout to me. So we've got this buddy. Paint's pretty good. Sculpting is nice. I like the translucent blue here. It's got the, I don't know if you can see it. Nah, there's a Mondo stamp on the bottom there. Okay, let's go to Egon. So while I've always been a Peter Venkman guy, I would say Egon is my second favorite. Probably, or at least in the cartoon, because his character design is just very distinct. And I've always liked the colorful jumpsuits. I had a lot of Ghostbuster toys as a child. One thing I always wanted was a jumpsuit, but I never told anyone. And when I got older, I told my dad this, and he's like, well, why didn't you say something? We would have gotten you one. Okay, so we've got Egon. One thing that kind of worried, I wouldn't say worried me, but had a concern with the promotional photos were the glasses. Now, they are sculpted differently, but in the photos, they appeared to be kind of thick. But as you can see, they're thinner than I was expecting. He's got ball joints for the arm, for the wrists, and joints, and the hands. Okay, the hand pops out pretty. Okay, good. The important thing is that it is a thick peg, because all too often I will have figures that have thin wrist pegs, and I always fear like I'm going to break them, especially the SH Figuarts, because I have in some instances. And like any toy, I have to play with the joints. Can you hear all the squeaking? Luckily, so far, these joints aren't super tight that I need to put them in hot water or use a hair dryer, or even worse, use a heat gun. And does Egon have a ball? So it looks... Let's see. Okay, good. The head pops off pretty easy. Okay, the neck joint is a little stuck. So in that case, at the moment, I'm not going to screw with that too much. I will heat it up later. Pop the head on. And he's got, you know, all of his little things on his waist here, and they have the articulation sort of hidden in the knees. My only concern is that when you bend it, yeah, there's a bit of what they used to call like Hasbro's, which was the early Hasbro Marvel Legends attempts, and the elbow and knee joints were a little unsightly, but this is not as bad. And he's got the iconic blue with the pink, which, you know, I never had. I thought it was a good combination. And Benny is screaming outside because, as usual, he wants to be a part of this. Not right now. And the second tray, is there additional tape I have to cut here? I really hope not. Sounds like, okay, cool. I do not have to cut this, which is good. But another thing I fear is when I pop this, all the accessories will go flying, which one did. And which one was that? Yeah, but I don't have much room to work with this, because I think I noted last time, like, my laptop's right here. So there's very little space between the laptop and me in this background. So it was just the blast effect that fell. Blast effect. What I always... I'm having fun here. The Proton Pack. One thing I've noted, I have to go back and watch the entire series to make count, but the wand, gun, proton gun, whatever you want to call it, is referred to as so many different things in the course of the series. And I want to keep track of how many times they called something different. So let's see. It looks like this will clip at okay, where will this clip? It's very thin, so it has to be a thin point. Again, we'll figure this out later. But it has the whole straps here. So, you know, one problem with a lot of Ghostbuster figures in the past were, how do you make the backpacks look nice? A lot of times they're not removable on the figures. Here they are. Just this blue, the blue on the Proton packs stands out to me so much, especially because of the role-play toys I had as a child. I believe I still have some pieces at my mother's, and there, I believe there is video footage. There has to be video footage of me at like 3 or 4 years old, standing in front of the TV, watching the show as the opening is playing, while I'm wearing the Proton Pack with the gun and singing along to the theme song. But keep in mind, at the time, I had a bit of a lisp. So instead of Ghostbusters, it was Ghostbusters. And I would just kind of... I'm still weird. And we've got another ghost from the episode. This I remember. I definitely remember. So he looks a little different when he's not being shoved into the ghost trap. I believe this was a ghost who was kind of mimicking like Al Capone, and he had what is that old actor's name? Yeah, you dirty rat, say that guy. And so because that piece slides out of the trap, you can replace it so it looks like he's being sucked into the ghost trap. That's really neat. This is fantastic. And we've got okay, so we've got episode specific pieces, more episode specific pieces here because we have the ghosts. I can pull this out. It's a little hard because it's so inset here. It's not stuck or anything. There we go. Comes with this little Ghostbuster bomb, which I believe was used at the end of the episode to trap the boogeyman in his dimension. I will put that back. We've got the PKE meter here, which I'm looking at. I'm thinking, okay, so I don't see the antenna, but I'm taking a good look at this. Yeah, you can, okay, let's not screw this up. You can pull the top out. I just, how am I going to do this without screwing up the paint? Okay, there we go. One, there we go. Woo! And some of you may know the design for the PKE meter looks substantially different than it did in the movie. And again, I prefer this version. I think it's so much neater. That we've got the gloved hands. We've got an alternate Egon head. A terrified Egon head, because if you know your Ghostbuster lore, the boogeyman terrified Egon as a young child, and this episode was him dealing with his own demons. And we've got two different display stands. This one is for Egon. And even like I just noticed here, they've got the Mondo stamp at the bottom. Do I do it that way? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, fits well. That's 1 foot. Get the other peg in there. Okay, cool. Sometimes with figure stands, there. Oh. There we go. Now, let's see how I can put the proton pack on. And pray I don't scratch any paint. We're doing it, we're doing it. It's over his shoulders. And my biggest concern is how do I get it in the back here without it? Oh, there's a plastic film I have to take off. There we go. And the straps are made of a softer rubber, which I fear, or feared, would be difficult to get everything in the slots. And actually, okay, that was easier than I expected. And looks great. Yeah, let's. Okay, good. The hands are firm plastic, but they're pliable, which today with action figures and accessories and trying to swap them in and out, it's always a worry. Okay, so his fingers are individually sculpted as well. These are actually, now the fingers are really well sculpted, as weird as that sounds. Okay, and we've got that in there. Okay, Egon is ready to bust some ghosts. All right, and we've got an even bigger stand, the Boogeyman. That's weird. That's interesting. So it's big and thick. But one thing is, so this almost kind of reminds me of a figure art stand. Definitely more heavy duty. But can you see the white here? This is like a cushion, so you're not scuffing up the plastic on the figure. That's kind of neat. Let me put this tray away with the accessories. Okay. Now we come to the heart of the matter. The reason why I bought this. This has been a very, very long time in waiting for. At one point, I figured this would never happen, and oh my, the head is huge. Okay, so let's go. Let me put that aside. That's the alternate head. So this two pack was an online. I mean, they're all an online exclusive. But the two packs, which are a Ghostbuster and a iconic villain, the first one was Peter with the Sam Hain. Those sell out pretty quickly because everyone wants the ghosts. I think of all the four that have been announced and or have come out at this point, if I only have one, absolutely it is this. I can individually buy the Ghostbusters separately. Oh my god. He's heavy too. It's not like a Japanese toy heavy with die-cast parts. So one thing I'm noticing, it's okay. So the head's a little loose, but he can still move it and not. Yeah, I can put his head back and it's not going to wobble forward unless I go like that. And he's got all sorts of plastic here to prevent any other plastic wearing off on him. Let's get these off. Ow, oh my god. Your nails are sharp. So if you remember, he kind of looks like he's got the body of a goat man, and just the paint on this is phenomenal. Oh, this looks just like he did in the series. And okay, so it doesn't open a ton. Actually, maybe if I cock the head back, there we go. You can open the mouth. So and he's got the little bow tie under here, which you can see, and just okay. So the back is a flexible rubber. Obviously, my big concern is because he's so top heavy, how is he going to stand? And or will the joints here soften up over time? So we've got outward movement, inward movement. But with here, he can chase after Egon with his iconic "I remember you" line. Because, that was Frank Welker. He did most of the ghosts at that point. Yeah, but yeah, these nails are so freaking sharp. Let's get the stand ready. If I remember where I put it. In the tray. At the bottom. In the other tray. There's so much plastic involved in this. I thought we're supposed to be saving plastic. Okay. So it's thin, but it's, you hear all that? I thought these are my joints in the morning. Over to the side. My mouse over there so I don't accidentally. Good. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? Do I have to put the hair? Do I have to put this under the hair? Yes, under the hair and through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. All right. That's. There we go. Okay. It's like I have 35 years of memories hitting me right now. Okay. He's still there. He's standing up. And one thing which came with this two-pack, which were various exclusive pieces. Oh, wow. I mean, obviously I said the head was huge. This comes with an alternative head, which is where he's doing his kind of, his boogeyman, scare the crap out of you. Woo! He's got spit hanging off of his tongue, and the hair's all out of place. And okay, so there the jaw does not move, which is totally fine. I am not going to screw with swapping this out just now, but this is so dense. done with that one. And Boogeyman also comes with two swappable hands. I guess when he wants to do his own Doctor Strange impersonations. By the hoary hosts of Hoth, etc., etc. So, yeah, here we go. This was such a long time coming. This this is a moment. I'm not gonna cry. I promise I won't cry. But these are just impressive. So the Peter is out now. I'll probably need to get him. Egon with Boogeyman. There is a Winston with the Sandman. Honestly, I think the proportions on the Sandman are a little off. I wouldn't say so much off, but because he has such an interesting physique, even though he's under a bunch of robes, the way they cut the sculpt up looks a little odd. So I may skip that one, just get the Winston. And then the Ray was announced recently at New York Comic Con, I think. And he comes with Mr. I forget what his name is. I only knew that he had a name until like when they announced this figure. But it was, I think, the Slimer Comes Home episode where Slimer runs away and he gets wrapped up in this like gang of ghosts and they all go to this guy and they get absorbed and there's the threat of him disappearing forever. But this was, I am more than glad, happy and elated that I have this. How do I want to display this? Well, I'm gonna have to heat up Egon's neck in order to figure out how I want to do that. But I think that is going to wrap things up with me. I am so happy I have this now. So that's going to be it for now. Obviously, I've been very busy gearing up for the convention. I have a lot to do, be it the panel, the slide presentation, the notes, the buttons. I have to do questions. I'll get it done. I'll get it done. Honestly, this is going to be so. I'm very much looking forward to it this year. There is so much more room to grow, and I think we're setting ourselves up for great success this year. We had a great turnout last year, so hopefully this will be even better than last, because not only are we going on the peak day, we are going on at 1:30, which is the peak time, and we are on the main floor near where all the action is, so we're in the peak area. So everything's looking up for us. So I'm gonna end it here. So from Baron HQ, I bid you adieu. And